The history of Western Canada is built on draft horses.
So our original, our purpose behind Draft Horse Town was just to show people the role that the draft horse played in building Western Canada. One time you got us a bunch of pictures from the Glenbow Museum, and pipelines, all the gas pipelines and stuff that went there. Irrigation canals, and just the stuff that we take for granted that was all done with horsepower. It's phenomenal.
So without them, we wouldn't have had a Western Canada. They're absolutely key.
You can talk about it, but you have to see it. That's what we set off to do, and we did it. I think we did it.
But a lot of it did come out of the heavy horse pull, right? And the fact that we were always getting hit with so many questions about the horses, and everyone wanted to spend more time with them, and
people were asking about the size of their feet and what do they do, how much can they pull, and what's their name, how much do they weigh,
how much do they eat, and how much do they poop.
It was almost putting it into context, right? Is that people would enjoy the horse pull, but the history and why horses were used was never put in context.
And I think we got tired of answering the same questions, and we figured we could get a whole committee around us to answer those questions. So,
right, yeah. We kind of said after a number of whiskeys that we didn't want to do all the normal stuff that a team does, like that people see every day. We strive to make hitches of 4 and 5, and we did 16 one time, and like all the unusual hitches and stuff that people never get to see.
To me, when I knew it was going to be successful and what it was needed was when I think it was like a couple weeks before, and I was like, oh my gosh, we don't have a volunteer coordinator or anything. But we had so many people who wanted to be part of it. Like we reached out, and there was so many other committees on park who said, this is really cool, I want to be part of it. And they were recruiting other people. So the first year, we were literally just winging it. People would come in and say, what do you want me to do? I'm like, we would just kind of, we don't know. What do you, and we just kind of built it from there. But there was so much excitement about it.
What we looked for was enthusiasm.
The volunteers are the ones who share that story. They're taking pictures with the guests. They're telling the story about the draft horse. They're talking about what the horses' names are.
And they had some incredible ideas.
Absolutely.
Right? And they would all get with their enthusiasm. They would come, the next day they have a new poster or something that was they just bought into.
And that's really what helped grow the event too, because I think we got that feedback every year from them. They're like, hey, this would be a great idea. So we were like, why not? I think that was always the thing with Draft Horse now. Like Tim said, we wanted to make it better every year and different every year. So it's like, that's who gave us the feedback. It was the people who are volunteering, who are hands-on, hearing what people are saying, what people want, and what people loved, right?
Well, I think if we had one more seat at this table, it would have to be for someone like Terry Bailey, who wasn't, necessarily in all the planning meetings, but I know that Dale would go and the next day and say, Terry, we need this and this and this, and the horse has to show up for the media for this and things like that.
He made it happen.
And he made that happen, and he's still with Draft Horse Town, and still doing that job for Aggie Days and so forth. And he was definitely the fifth person at this table through.
He calls Stampede his second Christmas, and I guess the ultimate reward is that we've seen literally thousands of visitors come through there and see pieces of draft horse history that they didn't know about and weren't aware of. And they developed a greater understanding of the role the draft horse played in building Canada, and specifically Western Canada.
Well, I think you've hit it. It's all about that connection piece. So I don't think, no matter how the world changes, I think that connection piece is still important because we're humans and people enjoy that connection, that personal contact, that experience. And I think as long as Draft Horse Town continues to just evolve and change and always just remain relevant, like just how do we keep hearing the people who are here? How do we hear the stories? How do we change the stories? Because not everyone who comes from another country, some actually people who come from other countries actually have more agricultural connection than a lot of people in the city of Calgary would, but it's a different agricultural connection. So how do you then tell the story and then incorporate those other stories or hear their story, and then how does that mesh with our story? So I think it's just that, I think that just willingness to always be changing and growing and just keeping telling the story, but how do we do it differently?
I would just say, don't replace real animals with plastic animals.
Exactly.
Because as you watch, in different places, and to have a dairy cow there that gets milked 400 times a day doesn't work, right? But the interaction between a real animal and a plastic animal is vastly different.
I think just knowing that you're an ambassador for Draft Horse Town. You're an ambassador not only for the Stampede and that committee, but you're an ambassador for, like you said, the history, and you're helping. You have a part to play in telling that story of the draft horse in Western Canada and the relevance, because some people have no clue. So you're that connection point.
And knowing that you may not realize how important it is for them, what a poignant moment it is for them in their family and their experience of the Stampede, but they're taking home memories that will last them forever. And that is something that you're giving to them as a gift, and you shouldn't forget that that's your responsibility.
Well, should we have a toast to volunteers and 10 years of Draft Horse Town?
To Stampede and volunteers. Yes.